So shall we start?
Yes, sure.
Good. Yes. Well, there are quite a number of questions, and I don't think we can exhaust all of them, but let's try. Well, the first question I prepared was, well, I'm sure that you have been hearing this question thousands of times. Three no's: no instructor, no textbook, and no tuition. But then I am adding two more: no classroom and no degree. And I believe that you had this plan at the very beginning, and that was kind of deeply ingrained in your philosophy. But I guess it was not quite easy for you to convince the people that this combination of 5 no's can really make students, provide students with better educational environment. And were there any resistance or lack of understanding or any hesitation, resistance at the very beginning?
Well, it was definitely something that was revolutionary at the time. And we had instantaneously a lot of, I would not say addicts, but at least fans. And at the same time, a lot of people who started to yell at, hey, what you are doing is completely awful, it's nonsense. And I think it's something that is always happen when you have such kind of breakthrough. And after 8 years now, it's something that is really more accepted. I think that 42 is now definitely settled down in the educational panorama of France, at least. And we do not really have anymore some people telling us that what we are doing is not correct. And we also have more students that now see you. Our new students definitely see us just like as any other regular university. They know the difference. They know if they fit possibly into the model, or they know if they want to try it or not. But we are now part of this educational panorama. So, but yes, at the beginning, as any breakthrough, it did raise some protests, definitely.
But still, there's something funny that 42 is very well known. Everybody knows that 42 works really efficiently, and we can provide really talented developer. But a lot of people from the outside see like 42 something like a black box, magic box. They don't understand how it works or why it works. It's like always what I tell to people: there is no teacher, no MOOC, no lesson. It's like, but how it can work, because we are so used to our regular pedagogical model with someone who is telling you how to do things. You don't believe anymore in your own capacity to understand things by yourself, or to be able to seek for information or way, to solve a problem. So that's very funny. But now everybody knows it works, but sometimes they are just, wow, it's magic.
That's great. And I understand that there is no, there are instructors, but these instructors do not teach. And there are pedagogical tools such as peer-to-peer learning and peer correcting. Would you please explain what they actually mean?
Sure.
Well,
for you.
Well, peer learning is the name of our pedagogical model. Sure. And it means that the students will not be in front of teacher, because we have no teachers. They are not sitting in a classroom and listening to a lecture. So what are they doing? They are facing software development challenges. They need to create piece of code that match the subject of the project we give to them. It's 100% hands-on, it's 100% project-based, and it's also 100% collaborative. It means that the students in front of projects with no clue on how to solve this project, well, they need to first try to seek for information and try to gather and collect information that could be useful to solve this project. Of course, they don't know if the information is true, false, maybe irrelevant, maybe obsolete, because you can find a lot of information and it must come with doubt, and students need very quickly to learn how to verify if an information can be useful for the project or not. Usually, students can do that alone, and that's why it's collaborative. Very quickly, they do realize that, okay, I've got this information, I made this test, but I'm still not sure. Then we tell the students, now you need to start talk to each other, debate. And what we want here is to have some creation of collective intelligence, and students, while talking, debating, explaining how they think they understand the project, how they think they can solve the project. Maybe they will have together new ideas that no one has had in the very first time. And with this new idea, new hypothesis, students will get back alone to test this new hypothesis. And this is a repeat, a circle, not a vicious circle, but it's a try and fail approach and a recurring approach until the student can actually have a piece of code that completely fulfill all the demands of the subject.
If we assume one professional as a teacher or as a professor, how can 1,000 students, through peer correcting, can be at the level of these professionals?
It's not a fully random system, actually.
Sure.
We do have special rules, and it can be different from one project to another. And these rules allows or forbid the evaluation depending on different criteria. For example, we usually have a classical criteria, which is saying that this project can only be evaluated by someone who already validated this project. This is one of the most classic and common rules. So you will almost always be in a situation that your evaluator of your own project will be someone who is with a higher level than you. I will not go into specific case and some details because we have got sometimes there are some biases, but it's our job, of course, to have to monitor what is happening between students and to try to figure out if there are some shortcuts that we want to remove, or if all the different possibilities taken by the students are okay. And it's something that is completely possible in our community, because I just realized that from the previous question, I did not mention that our students are progressing at their own pace. So you never have everyone doing exactly the same project at the same time. You're very quickly, you've got a faster part of your population that is ahead of other students that have been that started the same date. And we allow this freedom of pace, and at some point in the curriculum there is also freedom of choice, so we can have very different profiles, but it's something that is definitely useful and helps also the peer evaluation, and also it helps to enforce these rules to be evaluated by someone who already validated the project. It's way easier this way.
Well, I'm sure that you have been playing the role of evaluator, and don't you have any experience of being tempted to cut in to the debate of the students when the students are going around without finding solution or right answer? Didn't you have that kind of temptation?
No, absolutely not. And we absolutely don't, we can't do that. If we are doing this, we are putting back the students in a passive mode.
That's
and
right.
we are removing the doubt for the students. And if we always give them the solution, when they face a new problem, they won't develop their problem-solving skills. They won't be able to adapt to something new and to make their own choice and their own decision. And in a unknown future environment for ICT, because it's evolving very fast, our students wouldn't be prepared. So that's why we must be sure that we never, as a staff or a referent, someone who knows, we must be sure that we never give them any hint, any directions. We can't point any direction, because this will completely break. Because if we say on the subject of the project, hey, maybe you should have a look at this blog, it sounds great to complete your project, the students will not read this. They will read the lecture. What you need to know, what you need to learn is on this blog, and they will just only see this blog and don't and take it as true without testing it. And we completely want to avoid this.
Sure.
So it's very important that we never give any kind of information.
Nowadays, the technological advancement is so fast. Take, for example, artificial intelligence. The pace of the evolution of artificial intelligence, from machine learning to deep learning. Now we are talking about quantum computer, entanglement, and so on, which needs some learning process. But at Ecolab42, there is no teacher, no book, but still the young people nowadays should be equipped with this advanced technology by learning. Certainly they can get access to YouTube and Google and so on, but still, if they are not learning them systematically, how can the students, the graduates of Ecolab42, on par with other students who learn all of these things through traditional learning process? Well, I basically agree with you. I wish to follow that.
Maybe to resume, because I didn't understand properly what you said. That was, do you think there is like special knowledge that are too hard, too complex, too difficult, so you cannot explain them? So you need a traditional system? That's what you are saying?
That's perhaps, yes, you're right. Well, for example, artificial intelligence cannot be learned through peer learning.
No, that's not true. I'm sorry to say that.
Oh, is it not?
But yeah,
we have projects.
We have very good projects in AI.
I see.
In AI, you need mathematical high level at one moment. But how can you learn that? You can take a book, but you can do it by yourself. You don't need the teacher to tell you, look at this function, look how it works. You can do it by yourself. And then when you will have this information, you can also share it with people. But you can learn very complex things, very difficult things by seeking for the information, And after that, everything on the internet, you have a very, very big corpus of information. So you can watch a video, you can read a very big manual, and there is a lot of book about AI and mathematical models with AI. So the only thing is, what do you want to learn? So give you the opportunity to learn it. Know that you can do it. But I don't know, what do you think, Olivier? But I know that we have AI in
I'm thinking just in complement of what you just said, Sophie, and I think that at some point, the students, it's a question of maturity. At some point, the students will know how to learn by themselves, and they will know. They will keep their own freedom, meaning that if you don't have this habit, someone who is just in a classic university, and I've seen this in some university students, they learn something by the book, and they don't know how to have a step aside and thinking things differently, and have a thinking out of the box, and have another vision of the same problem. And from my point of view and from what I've experienced with the 42 students, after a while, when the students were enough immersed in the 42 pedagogical model, they developed this think out of the box, this agile thinking, and even if they take a course in a lecture in university, they will grab the information, but just like they can grab it on Google, and they will keep this ability to see things differently and to adapt and to adjust and to not do exactly what it said in the book, but exactly what they want to do for their startup or for their own project. So I think at some point it's maybe easier perhaps to reach more traditional way of education while keeping this ability to solve new problems and to deform, to adapt what's written in the book.
But indeed, what two of you sort of explained in the last 5 minutes were probably the most important part of our discussion, because you may know that there is a great sage in China 2,500 years ago, together with Confucius. Another very famous sage was Lao Tzu. You know Lao Tzu. And Lao Tzu said 2,500 years ago, 수인이어는 불려 수인이어. In Korean translation of Chinese words, what that means is giving fish to your children is not as good as teaching them how to catch fish. That was his statement. So don't give fish, but give them, let them learn how to catch fish.
That was give a man a fish, feed him for a day, teach a man 2 fish, feed him for a lifetime.
Yes, you're right. That's right. But then nowadays, we are adding the third way of teaching our children. That is, don't give them fish, don't teach them how to catch fish, but make them hungry and send them to the ocean.
Yes.
Let them practice themselves to develop how to catch fish. What I heard from you was that you are exercising the third approach.
Okay. This is funny. You know that this is a quote of Antoine de Saint-Exupéry? Are you aware of that? Do you know
what is
Antoine?
It? Would you, yes.
Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, which is a French writer.
There
is a quote of him.
Quote, yes.
Here is the same. It's a quote who said, if you want to, I would say that if you want to build a boat, don't gather men and women and give them order and explain them each detail to tell them where they can find things. But if you want to if you want to build a boat, so make growth in the heart of the man and of the woman the desire of the sea. This is exactly what you said.
Indeed, exactly the same. Yes. So let them do. Well, actually, Olivia said that learning how to learn. Yes, great. I think that is the kind of prime discussion in our series of discussion now. I hope both of you can come to Belgorod.
We'll come together
and meet together, and then let's have fun there.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I'll send you more information.
Very, very much.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.